that's pretty cool. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. It's thought that'd be kind of fun to put out there here on a Friday. Now, let's get
now let's get to the topic. Yes.
And let's get on topic, which is very hard for us sometimes.
Absolutely.
As we're recording. So backdrops for senior pictures or for any kind of an occasion, right? I mean, but Walt Disney World, everywhere you look, there's great places to take pictures.
Yes.
I mean, that's why Walt Disney World's a great location for weddings, right? I mean, we've both been in a wedding of our listeners, yes. Jay and Melissa years ago, married on the boardwalk.
Yep.
And I mean, there were so many great pictures. I mean, just at the boardwalk in itself, out on the boardwalk. What was it? Seabreeze Point is where they got married.
Where they got married. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was amazing. And having a tux on in July, interesting, but it was a good experience other than we almost all died of the heat.
I mean, 100%.
It was super hot, but it was awesome. And I still am so thankful that they let us be a part of their wedding. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking about this. You got a senior. Cause I mean, I have Mallory is 13. She's not a senior, obviously. She's in middle school, but she thinks she's a senior because now she has Instagram because she turned 13. You know how it is nowadays.
Yep.
She didn't want to have Instagram. She wore us out. She's got Instagram. So of course, and she's a cheerleader. And so, they all want to get their pictures, and all
Absolutely.
that stuff. So she thinks about these things. So now by proxy, I think of these things because I'm surrounded by it. So I think about the best places to take pictures. And one of the places I came up with, we'll kind of go back and forth a couple places that are permanent, not just like festivals and stuff. But one of my favorite places for a backdrop to take a picture. Now you may get there, you may not on your next trip. It's over at Old Key West. And in Old Key West, as you walk into the resort, you kind of pass Olivia's to your left, and on your right is the check-in area. But then you go back towards the water. And right as you kind of come to the T by the end of Olivia's, where you can go left over to the community center or the community room, whatever it's called for DVC, there's always these big planters with these beautifully colorful flowers. And then there's flags behind them, like nautical flags. The water's behind it. And that iconic lighthouse for Old Key West by the pool is there. And there's a row of palm trees. It's really got kind of a little of everything. It's got it's got a lighthouse, it's got palm trees, it's got water, it's got beautiful flowers, flags. That would be an awesome backdrop for somebody to do like a little photo shoot. Now, of course, you may not be staying there, but I'm telling you that and again, I'm not a photographer, but I would think that would almost be worth the trip for that spot right there to get some pictures done for like a senior
Absolutely.
Picture.
Yes.
That one. So what do you got? Let's go back and forth. What do you got?
Oddly enough, a lot of places at Disney's Animal Kingdom are very picturesque and perfect for these kind of photos. One of them is actually a place that I found completely by accident, and it's right after you get off of Kilimanjaro Safaris. There's like this it looks like a shack that they have built, and it's a great place to go and take, these senior pictures because it's not something that, it's something that people walk by all the time. They're not paying any attention to, but it's this unique like building that looks like a place. I think a place that the warden would go or something like that.
Wait, where's this? What section of the park?
It's right at the exit of Kilimanjaro Safaris. Like you get off, it's this green, it's a green like house looking thing. And it's a great place to go. I've actually done it before. I stopped and was like, this is a perfect spot for senior pictures. So I stopped and got pictures because it's got like windows and places that you could like beams and stuff like that. So you can kind of lean against. It was the perfect place to go and take senior pictures. I don't know what it was about it, but it was just absolutely perfect. So that's totally one of the places I've 100% gotten my senior pictures done.
You know this better than me, but this is for the video. I'm telling you, you want to go check out this video because it's on the Facebook page and it's in about 3 sections at this point. But
yes,
fun conversations all around. But you just did the cross the arms senior picture pose. Like, is that required? I mean, like, you got to cross the arms and get an attitude for a senior.
You got to put your hands on your hips or cross the arms. Or you got to pose with it. You got to make yourself look cute. I'm just saying. So 100%, you gotta do that. Yeah.
Here's another obscure one. Again, at a resort, there's a spot that I've always thought would be a great spot to take pictures. Now, this is a very specific and not a very large place, but it's beautiful. When you're at Coronado Springs, okay, so if you're walking away from the tower across that bridge that takes you back to the dig site pool, but I think there might be 2 bridges. Actually, there's a 3 bridges restaurant, right?
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
But but I'm talking about the bridge that's closest to the tower. It's more over towards the cabanas and opposite the casitas. If you catch my drift, if you know Coronado, when you walk at the end of that bridge back by the dig site pool, there are some really unique flowers. They're tall. There's a lot of like greenery, like kind of like big, they're not ferns, but like big green plants that don't have flowers. But interspersed in those are the most beautiful, like orange, kind of yellowy, brown, beautiful flowers. They're unique colors. They're not like reds and purples. They're more like reds and oranges, and they are gorgeous. And there's a little spot there. There's a few rocks that kind of in the landscaping, but I thought if you're at Coronado, take that bridge back towards the dig site, you'll see it. And that's a great spot to post some pictures. It's because you don't see a lot of orangey, kind of brown, yellowish kind of combinations of flowers. It's more usually brighter colors, but
yeah, it is.
I love it there. Yeah, so that's another one.
All right. So going on to Epcot, there is a great spot actually in the Mexico Pavilion. Now it gets a little more beautiful with the Flower and Garden Festival because they kind of put up some more plants in this area. But it's this little like alcove. I think it's actually a pathway for wheelchair entrance. I'm not entirely sure, but they have these gorgeous plants that they have right there. And again, they usually do more around this time of year with the Flower and Garden Festival, but it's totally secluded in the sense of like not a lot of people go up this pathway, and it's some of the most gorgeous plants. It definitely feels like kind of rainforesty, so you feel like you're enclosed and stuff like that. And it's just, again, if you want some really pretty greenery as well mixed in with some like pretty pops of color with plants, this is the place to go. It's so simply stunning. And again, it's a lot of these places are places that I found just by meandering and going through and really exploring the park and stuff like that. So that's kind of the best suggestion I have if you're looking for these senior photo areas. Like, there are always areas that don't get a lot of traffic, and they're just simply stunning because, they've built it up in this way. So yeah, that's kind of what I found.
And I think we're going with kind of more like natural backgrounds too.
Absolutely. I'm getting to one that's not so natural. So
and there's something to be said for that, because say you're somebody who's going off to film school, right? That's like your whole, like you graduated high school and you want to go on and become, a producer or something. Obviously, Hollywood Studios has lots of props that you could use as backdrops, right? For that, which would be very interesting. I think that's a great idea in itself. Like, if you say you got a baseball scholarship, do some shots in front of Casey's.
Absolutely. Yes.
Some tangentially, I think that'd be kind of cool. Another one, I think this one pops into everybody's head. If you really want to get some pictures over in Canada at Epcot, the Victoria Gardens, it's there year round, but it's probably one of the most beautiful spots. And here's the thing about that one. You could really take your time back there, because as large as that area is and as beautiful as it is, there's not a lot of people back there. And also I don't know how many people ever go up on the back side of the Canada Pavilion. There's some beauty up there too. Those
waterfalls.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The photos that you can get with those waterfalls are, those have to be simply stunning pictures that you can get. Turn on your portrait mode on your iPhone and I'm telling you, those would be some amazing, amazing pictures. So.
That's a good tip. I didn't think about portrait mode, because it takes those colors and kind of just like blends them, kind of mashes them together, but the person in front's in focus.
Absolutely. If you're not using portrait mode, you should on these like senior pictures, because it's perfect. So yeah.
Oh, your mom, who's a former professional photographer, in the chat says that hands are never on the same level.
Yes, that's true.
Like you're gonna take a hand off, like. You're running back.
Like a football.
I don't know how that works. Okay, what else we got? Where else we go?
All right, so this is a brand new area, actually. Not a lot of people have seen this yet, and this is over in the France Pavilion. So on the backside, as you're walking to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which again, like I said, not a lot of people have seen this yet. They have built these this wall, and it's again a building. I really like buildings for some reason. I think they add a lot of visual texture to photos in this regard. But they made it look like this old French building, and there are some gorgeous spots that you can stand. They have some flowers and stuff like that around too. But there are some gorgeous spots that you can go to right here that are along this building wall that you can take some really great photos with as well. So that's gonna, now again, this area is gonna start to become more and more busy as Rumi's Ratatouille when it actually opens. But for now, it's a great area because not a lot of people are going back there.
And speaking of buildings in the background, here's where my next one is. I kind of have two, because one's with it in the background, one's from that perspective. One is to take the Skyliner over to Caribbean Beach, or if you're staying there, that's where you are. And there's a spot where you can stand. It's kind of right outside where the quick service little food court is. You walk out, there's some outdoor seating, and then there's a pathway. And if you stand in the right spot, because I had breakfast right near here this past December, there's a spot where, again, there's a lighthouse. Because there's like the boat slips there. There's water and there's a couple of boats like tied up. There's a lighthouse, but in the background of all that is the Riviera now, which looks really grand in the background. So you got a lighthouse, you got this beautifully, Frenchish looking building. You might catch a Skyliner, so you get those different kind of skittle, like different colors in the air. You have water. I think water really makes a background cool. It gives it like texture, it gives it vitality. And you could stand right there, and it's almost like beaches, because you're not getting dirty, you're not getting sandy or anything, but you got a beach behind you, a lighthouse, a beautiful French Riviera resort, sky buckets, some water. I think that's one of the best spots. And also another thing you could do, this one's a given, I think everybody knows this one, but over at the Riviera, there are those mosaics if you walk from the Riviera, Riviera Skyliner station. So you have Peter Pan, you have Tangled.
Yes.
I'm trying to think what else you might have, but
that's it.
Yeah. I was thinking there might be one on each side, like four.
Yeah, one is Peter Pan and one is Tangled. Yeah.
But those are beautiful. And I mean, you will see people constantly taking their pictures, especially I think it is illegal for a 13-year-old girl to walk past without taking a selfie.
100%. You want to talk about places where you have to take a selfie and, totally Instagram walls. And I know Disney built these as Instagram walls, but I'm going to throw them in because they're ones that are not as talked about. I mean, we all know the bubblegum wall at Epcot, and we all know the purple wall at in Tomorrowland. But in Toy Story Land, there are two walls that they have built, and these are absolutely perfect for your photos. And they are the popsicle wall and the checkers wall. Now, these you have to, the best way to find them is after getting off of Toy Story Mania. But of course, you can walk the pathway towards the exit of Toy Story Mania if you, don't want to ride the attraction and just take photos. But these are two really fun, unique locations where you can get some really awesome photos. Another really fantastic one at Hollywood Studios too, and this is again another wall that I don't see mentioned a lot, but I could be missing it on social. It is actually by Lightning McQueen's race. Oh my gosh, what's the name of that actual attraction? Lightning McQueen.
The show back by
the show back. I completely am blanking on the name of the attraction. But back there is a wall, and it's red, yellow, and green, I think are the colors, and they're striped, right? I have taken photos there because it's so like Instagram worthy back there. And again, not a lot of people are going back there because not a lot of people I think are seeing Lightning McQueen's show, which if you haven't seen it, it's actually really cute. But that's another really great like Instagram wall that you can get photos taken on. So
it's the Racing Academy.
Racing Academy. Yes, that's it. Lightning McQueen Racing Academy. I've only done it once, but I have done it. I have seen it. So but it's a great place.
Oh my gosh, I just lost mine. I had a good I had a good one. It was oh no, I just lost it because I got to the Racing Academy. I was trying to think of what that was. And I'm totally blanking on my next one. It was with water though.
Oh well, I'm sure it was with water.
Because I'm on this water kick. I think water though makes it better, right? I mean, I think that here it was. I think this would be a great one because I figured this one out when I was running, when I was down on the cheerleader trip. I always kind of sneak in the back way to Saratoga, and I run when I'm staying at Disney Springs Hotel. And one of the paths you can run on at Saratoga is right along the Sassagoula River, where Disney Springs is right off the water. Now, what you might not know, though, well, you probably do if you've ever taken a boat from Old Key West or from one of the Port Orleans resorts. When you come up the Sassagoula and dock, especially over at the marketplace side of Disney Springs, there are some flower beds that are Mickey heads. They're in the shape of Mickey heads. So you could actually stand. I don't know if you picked this up or not, but there's a path where you could stand where again you would get the water in the background. And again, if you get it the right time, there's not gonna be a lot of this. Again, I like places where there's not a lot of traffic,
Mhm.
because if you're doing senior pictures, you don't want people walking by and like it's
No.
awkward, right? But if you're over at Saratoga and you're on this path, not many people are going this way. So you get that, and you get that whole background with all those lights, those buildings. You got the balloon, which gives it kind of a different height,
Mhm.
a little, it's round, it's a sphere up in the sky. You got some, letters for the boathouse, and you got water reflecting. You may have a boat, maybe an amphicars in the, the water. You
True.
catch that behind you and you get a nice shot there. And again, I think these shots would look, and I don't know, but I would like sunset. That'd be gorgeous.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, Saratoga Springs looking out over Disney Springs, I think would be a great spot.
Absolutely, that's gorgeous, and yeah, you can't go wrong with that Disney Springs area as a background either. That's perfect. Speaking of water, and out of the way places, again, going to Disney's Animal Kingdom, there is the pathway from Pandora to Africa, and that skirts along the water's edge right there. But there are some really great spots that you can stand as you're walking that pathway and get some really fantastic photos of, whether it's the bridge in the background with the water as you're walking, or again at the end, I think it's actually a restroom. They have this again, it's themed after a really cool shack again, and you can get photos taken there. I like this area because, like you said, it's the path less traveled. Not a lot of people go this way, and so you can get some really unique photos. This is actually right now where a lot of the water flotillas are taking place
Mhm.
for the character cavalcades at Animal Kingdom. This is a really good spot to stand if you want to see the flotillas, because the characters, I mean, they're floating right past you, and they're, again, A, there aren't a lot of people on this pathway, and B, there's only one direction that the characters can look, so they're going to be looking at you and waving at you. So it's a perfect spot to stand if you want to see the flotillas too.
And we've given these suggestions, but obviously you can encounter 150 of these
Oh,
on your next trip,
yes.
because that's the goal of Imagineers. That's the goal of Disney, is to give you interesting environments. And, the thing is, try to make a connection, right? I was somebody who was a baseball player, so I could find some obscure baseball reference in a store,
Mhm.
or, on this, for example, Animal Kingdom is full of this stuff. Like you just mentioned that
Absolutely.
path, when you're going back towards Africa by like Festival of the Lion King, there's buildings that have
Yep.
like kind of like distressed looking signs. And I mean, maybe
Absolutely.
there's a connection there to your town, or to
Mhm.
like a hobby that you have, or something from like a relative, like, like a company that looks like it went
Mhm.
out of business about, selling some kind of, hardware. Well, maybe, maybe your grandparents sold hardware, and like
Yeah.
that's a good spot to use that as a backdrop. I think what's fun is to kind of find the connections, right? I mean, I do this with attractions. Like I'm from St. Louis. And so I get the biggest kick out of an attraction when I hear or see something referenced to my town. For example, Carousel of Progress. The dad talks about how the kids got the little stereo set,
Yes.
and he's like, "Ooh, she's doing the hoochie coochie like in the
Yeah.
1904 World's Fair in St.
In
Louis."
St. Louis,
And
yes.
in the same ride, they talk about Pittsburgh, where Pam's from.
This is
So
true.
all three of us are covered in the
We
Carousel
are.
of Progress.
Yes.
So, stuff like that. But I think, making, because obviously you're a Disney fan if you're down there, but trying to find that personal connection. These are just beautiful places, which everybody I think would enjoy.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I would seek out a place that has a connection, try to find something that has some tie to your town,
Mhm.
or a hobby or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what's gonna make the photo that much more important, and have a story behind it. I think that's kind of the best part is, try to take photos that have a story behind it that you can look back and go, okay, there's a reason that we took this. And that way you can kind of explain the story too, which is cool. So
All
yeah.
right. So now here's the deal. Get out there and take pictures on that next trip, and let us know, because obviously, I might walk past some place. I'm like, ah, did you realize that is a great spot to take shots? So have fun with that camera. And here's we're living in the perfect time for photography. I mean, my iPhone will hold 50,000 pictures. I mean, at least. And you can delete them. Like if you don't like them, delete them and go on, or put them in the cloud. And you just, it's in that, I always say, that's the best souvenir, because you got the memory and it's free. You
Mhm.
don't, you got that point in time forever. So let us know the best spots to take pictures at Walt Disney World, some natural backdrops. Hope you enjoyed today's show. A little kind of this and that, little background on how the content gets out there over the Mouse for Less and some tips for your next trip. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out today. Let them help you with your next Disney vacation, whether it's to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, even Universal. They do that as well. So check them out today over at the Mouse. The Magic for Less.
Well, yes, exactly.
The Mouse for Less will point to the Magic for Less. But
exactly. We're not the same, though. We are two separate entities.
Fansite Travel Agency. Go to the travel agency, themagicforless.com. That's where I am.
And I'm at the Mouse for Less, which is the fan site. Yes.
I'll be waiting for you at the Magic for Less. All right. Also, don't forget to use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. You guys are amazing. You're allowing us to put out all this stuff 4 times a week here on the feed. Plus, our patrons get 5 shows. They get Mike in the Midwest every Thursday. We have a good time with that. So if you'd like to become a patron, just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Join us on Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. You, me, and Scotty G for the BOGP open line, where we take your calls and turn the show over to you. And Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestMike, at Rikki Nibs, at BeOurGuestPod, all that good stuff. And Facebook and YouTube, subscribe so you know every time we go live. All right, time to get out of here. And we'll be back again on Monday. The fun never stops. So until then, for Rikki and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy Mother's Day, all you mothers, on Sunday.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Love you.
Saved it there in the last minute. So
yes, you did.
Happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you real soon. Man, I caught that at the last second.
That was good. Woo! Got it right in. Good job. Good job.
All right.
Lisa, my email is Rikki@magically-speaking.com. That's the one for Mouse for Less.
Did I give out your AOL address?
No.
Little nibs.
Thanks.
Little nib.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what it is. I can't remember.
You got it. You got it. Yeah.
Little nib. Little nibs. Kibbles and nibs.
Kibbles and actually, my I used to have an email address that was nibblesandbits@hotmail.com. Yes, I did.
Oh my God, that's the worst email ever. You should be in jail for that.
Yes, I did. Nibbles and Bits was my used to be.
That's so wrong. That's terrible.
That used to be my email address. Yes.
Yeah, you're lucky you're not in prison.
Hey, that was my handle on WRU Magic back in the day.
Yeah. God, that was a long time ago.
Yes.
I was Maverick Mike 21 on the Diz boards.
Yep. That used to be my handle. Yep.
All right, I gotta get out of here because I get to work. But
I gotta actually eat dinner. It's 9 o'clock and I haven't eaten anything yet. So
you're crazy. I'd have been dying. All right, Brian, I said hey.
See you later. Right, see ya. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.